We all want to believe success is simple. Work hard, get good, win. But there's a part we hate admitting. A lot of success is luck. We've all heard stories about people losing everything to bad luck. But it feels weird to say that an Olympic medal or a billion-dollar company was built on good luck, right? Yet, in every great accomplishment, there's a substantial degree of the unexpected. So, what exactly is this luck factor? And more importantly, how does understanding it change the way you see your own wins and other people's success? That's what we will explore in this video. To understand this, first we're going to look at two people with similar talent and the same scale of chance, but in opposite directions. Everyone knows Bill Gates and Paul Allen, thanks to Microsoft's success, but few people know that there was a third member of this friend group, Kent Evans. But first, let's go back to 1968. Bill Gates is 13 years old, attending Lakeside School. Lakeside was one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer. This was at a time where most universities didn't even have one yet. Here's simple maths. In 1968, there were roughly 303 million high school-aged kids in the world. Only about 300 went to Lakeside, the one school with the money and vision to buy that computer. Gates happened to be one of those 300. He later said, if there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft. Gates was brilliant, hardworking, and visionary. Absolutely. But he also had a 1 in a million head start. This was his luck. At Lakeside, Gates became close friends with two other computer kids, Paul Allen and Kent Evans. According to Gates, Kent was the best student in the class. The two were inseparable, spending endless hours talking code and dreaming about what they could build together. Gates even recalls, I still know Kent's phone number, 525-7851. Kent could have easily been a founding partner of Microsoft, but it would never happen. Before graduation, Kent Evans died in a mountaineering accident. The odds of that happening to a high schooler is tragically low, roughly 1 in a million. Think about that. The same magnitude of chance, 1 in a million, worked in two opposite directions. Gates got the 1 in a million luck of being at Lakeside. Evans got the 1 in a million risk of never getting to finish what he and Gates set out to achieve. You cannot believe in one without respecting the other. Luck and risk are invisible forces, hard to measure and easy to overlook. And this brings us to our first core problem, survivorship bias. We only focus on the winners, the successful CEO, and assume their success was inevitable. We completely ignore the equally talented people, like Ken, who got unlucky, or failed, or were taken out of the game. This creates a distorted story that seems way too easy to copy. Now, let's look at the numbers. If success were purely merit, meaning talent, intelligence, effort, we would expect the distribution of wealth or success to mirror the distribution of those inputs. And those inputs are usually distributed like a bell curve. Most people cluster around the average and only a few sit at the extremes. Think height or IQ. But extreme success like wealth, fame, even YouTube views follows a completely different pattern, a power law, where a tiny number of people capture a massive share of the results. Most people are packed into the lower end and only a tiny sliver holds a massive amount of the results. That mismatch matters. If talent looks like a bell curve, but outcomes look like a power law, then skill alone cannot be the whole story. The math simply doesn't add up. Something else is amplifying results for a lucky few, and that something is the unpredictable force of luck. So if the stories and the statistics both point to luck, why do we keep dismissing it? There's a famous experiment that makes this painfully clear. Researchers rigged a Monopoly game. One of the two players was randomly given a huge advantage. Double the starting cash, twice the salary for passing go, and 2 dice instead of 1. Predictably, that player wins nearly every time. But here's the interesting part. As the game goes on, the advantaged player starts acting like the win is a proof of who they are. More confident, more dominant, and more certain. The rich player got louder and more aggressive. They slammed their pieces down. They even ate more of the pretzels sitting on the table. After the game, researchers interviewed the players. The rich players talked about their inevitable success entirely in terms of their own superior skill and brilliant strategy, completely dismissing their built-in advantage they'd been given from the start. We're all wired to believe our success is purely our own doing, and that makes it incredibly hard to be generous and almost impossible to feel true humility. It can be a powerful lens for understanding society. To wrap our heads around this, we have to realize luck is actually two different things. First, there's blind luck, things that happen to you and that you cannot influence. Being born into a certain family, the timing of that lakeside computer, or getting hit by a random accident. This is the hand you are dealt. You can't control it. Then there is serendipity. This is when something unexpected happens because you put yourself in position for it. Think of it this way. An athlete's hard work is what lets them win the race. But the wind at their back, the luck factor, is what breaks the record. In fact, 8 out of every 10 running records are broken when there is a tailwind. The runner's effort made them fast. Luck made them legendary. Serendipity is about developing the skill to turn an accidental event, like the tailwind or an unplanned meeting, into a valuable discovery or opportunity. You cannot command blind luck. You can build a life where serendipity is more likely. Be curious, make connections, stay open to new experiences. Hard work creates the opportunity. Luck decides how far it goes. So what do we do with all of this? If you ignore luck, you become arrogant when you win, and cruel when others lose. The evidence is overwhelming. Success is not a simple equation of hard work. It is a messy mix of effort, talent, and unpredictable chance. This doesn't mean hard work doesn't matter. It absolutely does, but it's just not the whole story. Your job is to put in the effort, be open to new experiences, and be ready when the chance presents itself. The real lesson isn't how to get lucky. It's how to stay humble when you are. If we see luck, or the lack of it, clearly, we gain two things. The first is true humility about our own success. We stop being like those Monopoly players who can't see their advantages. The second is real compassion for people who worked just as hard but got hit with Kent Avans' risks instead of Bill Gates' luck. That awareness helps us build a more compassionate, more fair world, one that tries to level a playing field that was never leveled to begin with. Now I want to hear from you. What is one thing in your life that went well, where timing or chance played a bigger role than you used to admit? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey with Giannis Talks, hit subscribe for more insights into the hidden nature of the world. Thanks for watching.